always think of you when spring comes, like it's something in the air at that time. Don't know why, always dream of you when spring comes. It's like the heat on my skin takes me back to the time met you on a Friday, halfway out at the door of the club, playing soul on the weekends.
Now we are going to say something about some wines, okay? Just a little.
Easy. We obviously work the traditional indigenous varieties, and we're going to start with Dolcetto.
Okay.
Dolcetto is what it is for Piemontese people or Italians, like everyday wine. If you want to compare it to, I'm going to say something like a Gamay, a Beaujolais, slightly more tannic, but it's a wine that back in the past was considered cheap everyday wine. Today, you can drink some great values Dolcetto, and you can also age it. During Corona times, during the lockdown, we drank a bunch of Dolcettos 10, 15, 20 years old, still beautiful. So it's a very accessible variety for any palate. Even if you never had tannins, this wine has a little bit of tannins leaves a little bit of tannin on your mouth, but it's not aggressive as maybe a Nebbiolo could be. It's very floral, very fruity. It's a wine that you can chill down, drink it cold. Have it with your aperitivo, with your panino, with your pizzas, your salad. It pairs really well with, cheeses. So it's a very versatile wine.
It's a good wine for aperitivo. It's
absolutely,
a red wine.
Red aperitivo. And this is a wine that if you drink with a little chill on, drink a bottle for sure. We don't do any oak. It's very simple. We do super short maceration. This is like 30 hours on the skin. So our Dolcetto ends up being almost like thick and rich and juicy. We don't filter, we don't fine, we don't clarify. So the wine has a little bit of weight, but that's how we like Dolcetto. And again, don't be scared, I gotta drink 2019, 2016, 2014, 15, easy. I wanna show you Langhe Larigi. Larigi is a fantasy name. It used to be the owner of this old vineyard that my grandfather purchased. So it's a vineyard from 1948, so 72 years old. It's a vineyard that gives us, it's 100% Barbera. It falls under the appellation Langhe because this is an historic reason, but my dad was truly inspired by Giacomo Bologna from Monferrato area. The winery is Braida, was the godfather of Barbera d'Asti. And again, back in the 60s and the 70s, he was the first to approach Barbera thinking, this is a variety that has potential of aging, can be made in a nice way, not too acidic. It's a powerful wine, and that's Larigi was born. The first vintage was 83. This is one of the 3 wines that we make that sees 100% new oak. This is one thing I've been thinking of maybe changing through the years. 100% new oak is too much, but you know what? Maybe when you first pop the current release, you think, it's there. It's a big wine. But then when you drink Larigi with 10 years of age on, 15, whatever, the wine totally integrates the oak. So I feel that Barbera can handle perfectly new oak. Usually Larigi is quite rich, quite dense. Definitely Barbera again is a variety of acidity, so I would pair this wine with food that has a little bit more of fat, which could be a barbecue, a steak, or like some aged cheese, or spicy food. We had during Corona times, we bought a barbecue yakitori. I bought it online. It weighs 150 kilos, and I have it now on my terrace. And we've been cooking yakitori grills. As every winery, we have a Barolo Classico. In the past, it was common to blend the vineyards. It's actually the concept of a single vineyard, something that came up in the 60s. But our Barolo Classico is a blend of some vineyards we own and some vineyards we rent. When I say rent, I mean that we farm them. We don't buy any grapes. So it's usually a combination of different soils, different exposures, different villages. So it ends up being usually the most approachable Barolo that winemakers have in their lineup. It's always a good test. If you like the Barolo Base, then I think for me, I would like the Crus of that winemaker. We try to make a Barolo Base that again is accessible, even if in this case is a blend of different soils like La Morra, more delicate. I have some Saralunga grapes, some Castiglione Falletto grapes, so it's quite powerful. But specifically 2016, well, that's one of the most amazing vintages we've had in the past, century. So this is definitely accessible now. The Barolo Buzz doesn't see any new oak. My dad, if you go back, 20, 30 years ago, maybe he was using at some point 50% new oak, which we slowly, gently dropped, and now up to, since I've been at the winery, no new oak for the Barolo Buzz. And I find it, as Americans would say, a glue wine, just like you punch it down. But how do you say? Not punch it, whatever, drink it. No, non è punch it, si dice? Chug it down. Chug it down.
A jug.
Chug.
Okay.
Questo si
Thank you
taglia.
for the lesson.
Cut.
Oh, no.
Arborina, Barolo Arborina. Arborina is the family vineyard, and this is a vineyard, again, half planted by my grandpa in 48 and half planted by my dad in 89. So 2 old plots combined together. It's a vineyard that we have right below the winery here in La Mora, south facing. It definitely corresponds to, I'm going to say, to the stereotype of La Mora wines. It's always very bright, very floral, very lifted, more on the feminine side. And it's the vineyard that I grew up with and in. I mean, since I was a kid, I remember bringing water to my parents when they were working in the fields, and you would walk down an Arborina that back then I thought it was super steep, and it's not so steep today, but family vineyard. In total, Arborina is 10 hectares, and it's divided by 6 winemakers. We're one of the 6. We own 1.5. From this vineyard, we make also a Langhe di Arborina, but Barolo Arborina is what my heart goes with. So it sees a little bit of used oak. 16, again, very floral, very fruity, very approachable. And Arborina is the feminine expression of the Altare lineup. And the baby crying in the back is my daughter's.
Yeah. You talk about the oak?
Yes, it's about 20-30% new oak, depends on the vintage. We kind of adjust it, but there's a little bit of new oak still. Yeah.
Okay, Silvia, thank you. Thank you so much.
Ciao. Oh, thank you for
Ciao.
making me practice English. I've been a little rusty.
Because of the
No visits,
lockdown.
no travels.
Yeah.
I've been talking baby talk with my daughter, 5 months old. Yeah, that's all I
You
talk.
got a nice gift in the lockdown.
Yes. I was bored, like, let's have a daughter.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Grazie. Ciao.
Baby, all of this is wrong, baby.